Alright, so today we are going to program my Baofeng. I'm going to show you how to program it and how to find frequencies with Chirp and using radio reference. I will have all the links to Chirp and to radio reference down below. Alright, so first things first, you're going to need a programming cable. I got mine off of Amazon. You can also get one from Baofeng themselves. Got mine off of Amazon. I believe it was like 15-20 bucks or something like that. So after you actually plug it in and everything to the radio, you want to make sure the radio is turned off, and then you're going to turn on the radio. And now the radio is ready to be programmed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to radio, and then you're going to go to download from radio. And then you're going to click OK. And I always do not prompt again because it's the same message every time. Just tells you to turn off the radio, make sure your cable is connected, make sure it's firmly connected, turn on the radio. Volume may need to be set at 100%. I've never had an issue with that, and ensure the radio is turned on to channel with no activity. This I've had a problem with, so do find a channel that has no activity on it, and then you click OK to download the image. So right now it is downloading the firmware from the radio. That way we can add our own frequencies and repeaters. Because today I'm going to show you how to pull up the GMRS frequencies, MERS frequency, MRS frequencies, marine frequencies, and then I'm going to show you how to program a repeater. So after your radio is done, it's going to look different from mine. Mine, I changed the firmware a little bit. Now once you've done downloading and it pops up here, right off the bat, first thing you should do in case you have any issues with your radio, you're going to go up to File, and we're going to go to Save As. And then you can save it however you want it, doesn't matter what you save it as. And for easy purposes, I'm going to put it on the desktop. Just put it somewhere safe that you're not going to forget. So if you have any problems with the radio or anything like that, and you need to revert back to the original firmware, then you do have that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to File, and we're going to Save As again, and then we're going to rename it. Alright, we're just going to say Beta. Alright, so we're going to be working in Beta. Now this one right here, just the regular UB5R, that's your stock one. And then the Beta is the one we're going to be changing. Now, so what we're going to do is, first things first, I'm going to show you how you can pull up other frequencies. For example, first we're going to do weather band. So if you want to do the weather band, what you're going to do is you're going to go to File, you're going to open stock config, and these are all the stuff that you can actually pull up. And we got Australia, New Zealand, I think that's Denmark, Europe, France, and then right here where it's NOAA weather alert, you're going to click that. It's going to open a new file right here. Just know this one is the one for your radio. Now here is all your weathers. And for some odd reason it has PA714. That's really weird. It shouldn't come up like that. It should come up as WX1, WX2, WX3. I don't know why they have these PA numbers. That's really weird. Oops. That was WX6. Okay. Now we're just going to save that because this is how it usually will pop up. Now what you can do is you're going to click right here, and then you're going to go down, and you're going to hold down Shift, and you're going to click the 10. It's going to highlight everything. And you're going to do Control C for copy. Hopefully this works this time. I've been having issues with it copying. And we're going to click on the 1, and we're going to go to Control V for paste. Alright, that worked. Alright, so now we have our weather frequencies right here. So now we do have FM here. It's all going to be high power for right now, because you're not going to be transmitting at all. So what we're going to do is all these right here, if you notice on offset or duplex, it has nothing here. So you're gonna, if that is like yours, it should be, all these should be a no, because you should not be able to transmit on the weather band. If it has nothing on here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on each one from WX1 all the way up to WX10, and you're gonna have to turn the duplex off so you can't transmit. So we're gonna do that right now. We're gonna go highlight one, and we're going to click on duplex until you get the drop down menu, and you're going to go to off. And you're going to click the next one, WX2, and you're going to go to off. And you do that for each one all the way down to WX10. Now, like I said, I don't know why this pops up and not having this set for off, because if it's not set for off, it will let you transmit on the weather band, and that is illegal. Weather band is only for receive purposes. It's not used for transmission purposes whatsoever. So we got that set up now. So the only channel that we can actually transmit on right now is the 2 meter call. Now I myself do not have a ham's license, so, and if you don't have a ham's license, please do not transmit on frequencies that you're not allowed to. Let's practice good behavior on ham radio and on any radio. If you're not allowed to transmit on the frequencies, don't transmit. But if you can hear it, it's okay to listen to it. There's nothing illegal about listening. So since I can't talk on this, I'm gonna go duplex here, and I'm gonna go to off. That way I or someone else can't accidentally transmit on a frequency that you're not supposed to. So now it has a little star here, or an asterisk. That means it needs to be saved because you changed something. So we're going to go to file, and we're going to go to save. So now this is all saved, and if you want, this is all you want is the weather band, you can go to radio, and you can upload a radio, and you call it a day, you're done. But let's say you want GMRS as well. So let's go back up to file. Actually, let's just go ahead and close this because we don't need the weather band anymore. So now we're going to go to open stock config again, and we're going to go down to the FRS and GMRS channels. Now FRS and GMRS is going to be roughly on the same thing because they do share roughly the same frequencies. As you can see, the FRS is 462, 467, and then you got some GMRS that's 462, 467. So technically they do share the frequencies, so it's going to be under the same thing. Now these down here where it says +5, these are your offsets. These are for your repeaters. These are your GMRS repeater channels. Now for your normal channel, just like on CB 11 meters, 19 is usually the channel everybody likes to talk on, and it's normally the trucker channel. From what I can tell from living in Colorado, I'm in Corpus Christi right now, but when I lived in Colorado, when I was off-roading and trailing, the #1 channel everybody was talking on and communicating was GMRS 16. So I usually renamed this guy to off-roading, and boom. That's usually what I did if I was doing off-roading and everything. And after you change anything, always save it. Now, what we're going to do now is, since we got that set up, it's ready to be transferred over to our file. Just like before, we're going to go to 1, and then we're going to scroll down to the bottom. Then we're going to hold down Shift, and we're going to hit 52. And now we're going to hit Control C for copy. We're going to go over to our beta file, and click on 11, Actually, see if it would do a blank. We're going to go on 12, and then we're going to do a Control V for paste. Alright, so now we have our FRS and our GMRS channels. Now let's say you want the MERS frequencies. So for instance, MERS frequency, you'll find Target, Walmart, some grocery stores, stuff like that. So in MERS, again, we're going to go over to Open Stock Config, and we're going to go down here where it says MERS channels. And then we're just going to hit 1, and then we're going to do Control, and then we're going to hit 5, or not Control, I'm sorry, you're going to hit Shift, you're going to hit 5. Now you're going to hit Control C for copy. I usually like to hit C a couple times just to make sure it gets it. Then we're going to put that at 65. Then we're going to do Control V for paste. Alright, and then right here where it says mode, this is your NFM, is narrow FM band, and then your regular FM. So this is narrow band FM and regular FM. Now on the FRS, I forgot to add, see on the FRS all these are high. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but if I am wrong, go ahead and correct me in the comments below. FRS, all their channels should be in the low setting, and technically, yes, it's a Baofeng. It's not supposed to be transmitting on FRS frequencies, but there's nothing wrong with transmitting on FRS frequencies without a license. So I unlocked my Baofeng, and I use my Baofeng on my work radio frequency, which is the FRS frequency. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change that over to here. We're going to go from FRS1 all the way to FRS22, and we're going to change all these drop down menus to low. That way we are going to be practicing good behavior on the radio band. It is not allowed to transmit, or technically it is frowned upon to transmit on FRS and high band. I believe the high band is, I think 5 watts is the highest transmitting on FRS, I believe, or I think it might be 2 watts. I could be wrong. I can't really remember that, but I know the high on my radio is gonna put out 18, or not 18. I'm thinking doing too much and talking at the same time. Mine puts out supposedly 8 watts, but it actually puts out like 7.5. So we're just going to change all these to low because I want to practice good behavior. I don't want to be transmitting on FRS frequencies with my full power. So we're just going to make sure we change all these down to low. And FRS frequency is always going to be narrow band FM. Now if you are talking on FRS frequencies, and let's say you're in a building and you're having problems contacting your buddy or him contacting you, what you can do is, if you have problems transmitting on FRS, you could switch down to MERS frequency. I usually try to stay off the blue dot and green dot. I usually use MERS 1 or 2. And on MERS radio frequencies, they don't travel as far as FRS, but they have more what I call penetration power. So MERS frequencies can go through walls, trees, houses, and stuff like that a lot easier and a lot better than FRS can, because MERS has a little bit more penetration power than FRS does. So if you're having issues transmitting on FRS and your buddies can't hear you, you can move over to MERS 1, 2, or 3, and you can transmit that, and you'll have a little bit easier time doing it because, like I said, it has more penetration power, so you can go through places. Now, MERS frequencies are not license locked. You don't have to have a license to transmit on MERS. But if you do have a lot of grocery stores like Target, Walmart, and stuff like that that are around you, you might want to find a MERS channel that they are not talking on. Typically, Target and Walmart is usually going to be talking on blue dot or green dot. That's why I usually talk on MERS 1 and 2. So that's that. I usually know my stores in my area always use blue and green dot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the duplex here on the blue dot and green dot, and we're going to change that duplex over to off, because I know that they transmit on this frequency. I don't want to mess up their frequency, because they are working and they need that frequency to contact and communicate with their workers, and I don't want to mess with that. So we're going to turn that off for my purposes. So we're only going to be able to transmit on MERS 1, 2, and 3, and I want to transmit on those on high. So now let's say you're in a boating area and you want see, we got enough room? Yeah, we should have enough room. Now let's say if you want marine frequencies. So let's go ahead and save this real quick. We're going to go over to marine frequency. Now marine frequency has a lot of frequencies on it. I'm not going to have enough to put them all. But you basically do the same process as before. You're going to click 1 and you're going to go down to 60. You're going to hold down shift and you're going to click 60. And then you're going to hold down control and click C for copy. And you're going to go back over here and then you're going to click and you're going to control V for paste. I don't want to do that right now because we're going to use these last block here for the repeater. Now if you're looking for a repeater, what we're going to do is, this is definitely saved. Let's close that now. Let's just make sure, yep, it's saved. So we're going to minimize that. We're going to go into Chrome and we're going to go to radioreference.com. I'll have it linked below for you in the description. After you sign in or log in, it's completely free. You're going to go over to databases right here and you're going to go to RR database, radio reference database. And then you can browse, you can go to near me, and then we're going to go to near me. And now here is all the lists that you can go, and these are all the frequencies that are near. Now I want to go into the amateur radio, which is going to be the ham band. Now like I said before, if you don't have a ham's license, do not transmit and talk on frequencies that you are not allowed to. So when done with this, we're going to set duplex to off so we can't transmit. So near me, what I know that works so far is the Skywarn right here. This is one that I found and that actually works in my area. So the two frequencies we need is frequency and input. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 146.820. We're going to go over here to our chirp. And we're going to do 146.820. And now let's go ahead and call this Skywarn. Alright, so it automatically sets it up right there. Automatically. But let's say it's not. So let's say it's set up just like this. So I know the repeater is a FM repeater, and now what we're going to do is, if you notice right here, you got a frequency of 146.820. This is the big kicker right here on this one. So right here under input, you have 146.220. So that drops 876. So 0.6 is going to drop 6. So once you transmit, it's going to drop from 820 to 220, and it's going to transmit on 220. So technically your transmit frequency is going to be 220 and your receive frequency is going to be 820. So your inputs here are going to be your split. This is going to be your split. So this is a split minus of 6. So how you do that is we're going to go over here to chirp. We're going to click here for the drop down menu under offset, or duplex. and then we're minusing because we're going from 820, and when we transmit we're dropping down to 220. So we're gonna go to minus here. That's weird. Oh wait, I'm messing up here. So we're gonna change this back here. No, that's right. That's weird. Split off. How did it do that? Usually it asks for a frequency. Here we go. So here's the frequency. This is why it's doing it automatically. So now it should ask for the frequency. When we go to minus, it still does it. That's weird. It should ask for your frequency, and then it gives you this 6. So we're just going to leave it at that. So if it doesn't do it automatically, you can do it this way. What you're going to do is you can go right here and you can do 0.6 because we're dropping down 0.6. So 0.8 we're dropping down to 0.2, which is 6. So you do 0.6 and you're going to hit enter. And then it automatically somehow knows it's a minus. It's acting weird. I guess it's acting differently on my other computer. But if it doesn't, it will pop up with the menu up here, and you can select minus or plus, and then you can put in the frequency. So right now we are set up for the repeater. We're set up at 146.820, Skywarn, and then we're set up as a minus, and the offset is a 6. So let's do another one. So we're going to go back over here. The other one that I want to see is active in my area is, I think this one right here. Well, actually these two. Yeah, I want to try these two because I'm curious if this is going to be actual weather alerts, kind of like NOAA. So we're going to do, let's do this one first, the wide area link. So we're gonna call it the CC network. That's what we're gonna call it. And this one is a FMN. So that's a narrow band. So we need frequency is gonna be your main ones. Wide area network. So we got 442.250. 442.250. So we're gonna do 442.250. Oh, no, why are you over there? 442.250. Alright, and again, somehow it automatically knows that it's a repeater and it's going to be going up 5. Now, see how this one is 0.6 and this is 5 point? So the number before the point is going to be changing 5. So here your point here is 2. And we're going to go up 5. So that'll be 5, 6, 7. So your transmit frequency is going to be 447.250. That's right there, 447.250. So let's go ahead and name it. And we're going to call it CC network. Okay, so we can't do network because it has too many letters, so let's do CC net. Alright, so that repeater is done. Now what we're going to do is the next one. We're going to go back over to here, and we want to do the weather, the stock weather right here. This is what we want. Boom. And we're just gonna do, we're gonna call it Stark WTH. We'll call it that because we won't have enough to put all that right there. Completely forgot about the tone right here. So the wide area network has a tone of 107.2. So our tone right here, we're gonna go Skywarn, I know is a 107.2. We're gonna click here, we can go to the drop down menu, and we're gonna go to tone. And then we're going to go here for tone and Skywarn, just to show you. Skywarn right here is 107.2, the same as that one. So we're going to go to the drop down menu here, and we're going to pick 107.2 as our tone. Now, I don't know if it makes a difference if you need the tone to receive or not, but I always do the tone just in case. Because if you don't have the tone, you will not be able to transmit into the repeater. You need the tone to transmit into a repeater. So now we got that one, so let's do the weather one now. Alright, so weather, we got 147.100. 147.100. 147.100. Alright, so that's moving up 0.6. So that would be a 0.7. And 0.7. Alright, now we're going to call it Stark WTH. Oh, can't even do that. Alright, we'll just do Stark, right? Or we'll just do that. Alright, so now we're going to go to tone. And double check, this tone here is 107.2. Alright, so now we are all set to upload to the radio. So we got our 2 meter call, which is duplex is off. We got our weather frequencies, we got our FRS frequencies. And we got our GRMRS, we got the off-road, we got MERS, and then we got our repeaters. Now on the modes here, we double check our modes to make sure we got the modes correct. So weather is gonna be FM, we got that. So the Corpus Christi network is gonna be narrowband. So we're gonna go Corpus Christi net. We're gonna click here under mode, and we're gonna go to narrow FM. Now let's check the Stark weather or the Skywarn. I believe that was FM as well. Yep, that's FM as well. Alright, so now we got all that set. We're going to go to save. Alright, now we're going to go into the settings. Alright, so under basic settings, you got your timeout timer, which is 60 seconds. You can change that to pretty much whatever this will let you. I like to change it down to 15 seconds. And then you're going to change the display mode over to name, so your top frequency is going to give you the name of the channel, which is these guys right here. And then on display B, I like to do that as frequency. And then you can change your standby LED color, your receive color, your transmit color, and then you can turn on and off the Roger beeps. I like to turn the Roger beep off. And go to advanced settings. I don't like the dual watch, so we're going to turn that. We're going to keep that off. And then we are going to alarm mode. Make sure you do this. Alarm mode under tone is whenever you do the alarm on the Baofeng, it will send a tone and an alarm sound over the radio frequency. I don't want that to do that, so we're going to go over to site. So when you do the alarm button, it's only going to do it on your radio, not everyone else's radio on the frequency. And then we're going to do voice, we're going to do English. Now the scan resume is for your scanning. You can set it up for CO and SE, which I don't know what those two are. TO is for timeout, which actually goes back to your basic settings, to your timeout timer. So mine, after it scans and it gets a channel that breaks squelch, is going to stay on that channel or that frequency for 15 seconds, and then it's going to start scanning again. Now on my radio, I like to turn on busy channel lockout. So if someone is currently talking, you can't interrupt them and talk over them, which I don't like. I find that to be bad practice. So I always turn on busy channel lockout. And then we're going to do automatic key lock. We're going to leave that off. And then make sure broadcast FM radio. If you want to listen to radio, if you don't, you can click it off. The squelch tail eliminates. I'm not too sure what those are. The repeater delay, I'm not sure what that is. If you do know what these three do, I would love to know. Go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I would like to know and learn about it. I don't know what these do, so I would leave those alone. And then you can actually turn off your reset menu, turn off the menus, but I just leave those right there. And then we're going to go into other settings, and then under basic settings, okay, so under here we got power on message 1 and 2. Power on message 1 is going to be your top one, just like your top frequency, and then 2 is going to be the bottom. So we're gonna, when I talk on CB 11 meters and skipping, I go by 361. So I'm going to do this radio as 361 CC Texas for Corpus Christi, Texas. And then we're going to do his beta. Now when this first does it, this should pop up as full message. You can definitely go to just message. So once it turns on, it's going to give you the message 361 CC Texas and beta. And then you can change your lower limit for VHF, upper limit. You can disable or enable your transmitting on VHF and UHF, or either vice versa. We're going to go work mode settings, and I believe these stay. Yeah, these you don't want to change. You got your preset. This DTMF, I'm not really too sure what any of this is. Again, if you know what this is, I would love to know about it and learn about it, and I'm pretty sure some other people watching would like to know about it, so go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And then service settings, for some odd reason for a while, the new Chirp did not have these service settings whatsoever. I had to find and download an older version of Chirp, but for some odd reason, now it hasn't. I didn't change this software on this computer at all. But when it first comes up, your squelch settings on Baofangs are crap. It's just junk. So what you're going to do is, I found for me on my area, it works that for each one I just added 0. So 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way up to 90. Same thing for UHF. 10 all the way to 90. And it's never had, I don't have any issues with squelch anymore. So now we got our settings all set. And now we're going to go to save. Now we got everything set. So now you have a complete program file for your radio. And now we're going to go to radio. And we're going to go to upload to radio. And we're going to click OK. And as you can see, the light blinking means it's actually connected to the computer and it's actually working. And now when it's done, you'll see it pop up on the top. It will say 361 CC Texas, and the bottom is going to say beta. It's going to happen pretty quick. Just keep an eye out for it. Alright, so now do not unplug the radio right this second. I've had issues with it and I had to revert back to the original file. At this point in time, you're just going to turn it off. You're going to unplug the cable. Alright, let's go ahead and get an antenna. I'm just going to use the Brie. Alright, so now we're going to turn it on. Now do that again. See, it says 361cc Texas, and it says beta.
Channel mode.
Okay, so we are in channel mode right now. So let's go into our weather. Our weather over here was channel 1 is what works best in my area. So let's go over to channel 1. We're on channel 0 right now. And go channel 1.
1.
The water temperature was 55 degrees. Winds were out of the southeast at 7 knots, with gusts as high as 8
Let me see if the other channels work at all. Oh, yeah, so none of those come up. So now, let's go down to Skywarn here. So Skywarn is channel 71. So we're going to go to 71. And I'm going to go down to make it quicker.
1.
We're out of the south.
0. 7 3.
So we need 71.
7 2. 7 1.
So that's Skywarn. Now we're going to hit the AB button, which is this blue one right here. And we're going to move it down to the frequency. And we're going to change this over to 71
7
as
3.
well.
7 2. 7 1.
Now, I'm not going to say anything when I do this, but see how it's at 146,820? When I hit the button, it's going to drop down to 0.220. Alright, so that just connected to the repeater. I did hit the repeater. So now what I'm going to do is, we're done. You have your FRS all programmed into your radio. You got your GMRS. You got your MERS. You got the repeater on there. Let's see what else we got on there. We got our settings done. We got our busy channel lockout. And that's it. Got nothing else. So now we just make sure everything is nice and saved. There's no abstract right there. And go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe.